Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to our morning glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading from Canto 10, the Summum Bonum, Chapter 10, the Deliverance of Yamala-arjuna tree. And today we will discuss verse 41. Can we please have the verse on screen, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Please continue, Mataji. My screen has frozen. I'll come.
Okay. So SP 10.41. Sadhunam samachittanam sutara मत्कृतात्मनः दर्शनानो भवेत् बन्धो पुंक्षक्षणो सवितुर्यथा साधूनां समचित्तानां सुतरात्मनां दर्शनानो भवेत् बन्धो पुंक्षक्षणो सवितुर्यथा साधूनां समचित्तानां सुतरात्मनां दर्शनानो भवेत् बन्धो पुंक्षक्षणो सवितुर्यथा. Synonyms: sadhunam, of devotees; samachittanam, who are equally disposed towards everyone; sutaram, excessively, completely; matkrita atmanam, of person who are fully surrendered, determined to render service unto me; darshana, simply by audience; na bhaved bandhaha, freedom from all material bondage; pumsaha, of a person; akshano, of the eyes; savitu yatha, as being face to face with the sun. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When one is face to face with the sun, there is no longer darkness for one's eyes. Similarly, when one is face to face with a sadhu, a devotee who is fully determined and surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one will no longer subject to material bondage. Would anyone like to read the purport, please?
I can read, Mataji.
Sure, Mataji.
Purport. As stated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya 22.54, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastri Koya, Lava Matra Sadhu Sange, Sarva Siddhi Hoya. If by chance one meets a sadhu, a devotee, one's life is immediately successful and one is freed from material bondage. It may be argued that whereas someone may receive a sadhu with great respect, someone else may not receive a sadhu with such respect. A sadhu, however, is always equipoised toward everyone. Because of being a pure devotee, a sadhu is always ready to deliver Krishna consciousness without discrimination. As soon as one sees a sadhu, one naturally becomes free. Nonetheless, persons who are too much offensive, who commit Vaishnava aparadhas or offenses to a sadhu, will have to take some time before being rectified. This is also indicated herein. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasa Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, when I was researching for this, for the preparation for the class today, I came across this story, which is a real story of a disciple of His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. And This is the devotee, the disciple of Maharaj, sharing himself. So few months back, my daughter, so this is in devotee's words. Few months back, my daughter was in the hospital in a malaria treatment. And it was the third day in the hospital, and doctor was still struggling to find the extract of a malaria strain to confirm the necessary medicine. The fever was going high and high, and the paracetamol, the ice packs, etc., were the only material solution that they could think at that point of time. And the situation for themselves were actually very sad and morose, because they were trying hard and hard, and the daughter was not getting cured. Even doctors could not find the trace of the virus, malaria virus. And at that time, their god brother, his Grace Govardhan Prabhu, visited the hospital. This is devotee sharing again. His godbrother Govardhan Prabhu visited the hospital, and after initial greeting, after checking on the health of the daughter, the first question that Prabhu asked to the disciple of Maharaj is that, why is Krishna's photo is not in the room? Have you recited Narasimha Kavacha? And that Prabhu was saying that I had no alternative but to look down at my toes. Basically, he was ashamed, or he was ashamed that he did not think that way. And then what that Govardhan Prabhu did? The Govardhan Prabhu recited Narasimha Kavacha in the room, and they all together chanted few mantras, or few rounds of japa in the room. And that was the eye opener for that Prabhuji. What he did, he immediately went home. He brought Prabhupada's chanting box. He brought the copy of Bhagavad Gita. He got the photo of Krishna, and the fever was down within 2 hours. And from that day onwards, doctor found the trace of malaria, and the appropriate medicines and the treatment was started. And the girl, his daughter, was actually discharged in 2 days' time. And when that Prabhu shared this incident with His Grace Devkinandan Prabhu. Devkinandan Prabhu was here, earlier, a few months back. So when he shared this incident with His Grace Devkinandan Prabhu's first comment was, "This is the power of the association of the devotees." And that is the gist of this today's verse. Here, Lord Himself glorifying His pure devotee Narad Muni. And we are at the conclusion of this Damodar Leela, and so as this chapter. So when Narad Muni cursed Nalakovara and Manigriva, if we would have not read Bhagavatam, or if we would not have heard or studied Srimad Bhagavatam, or known the qualities of Narad Muni, we can easily misunderstand that Narad Muni's cursing was due to their disrespectful behavior towards him. But when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, it is revealed to us that intent of Narad Muni's curse was to purify the consciousness of Nalakovara and Manigriva. And that is the quality of a sadhu, that is the quality of a pure devotee of the Lord. They are never concerned about personal honor or dishonor, or personal comfort or discomfort. Amrindra Prabhu, one of his class, gave a reference of Chaitanya Bhagavat, and he mentioned that in Kali Yuga, Lord comes in four forms. Tulsi, Srimad Bhagavatam, Tulsi Seva, Ganga Snan, and Suddha Vaishnava Seva. I was looking for the reference for this verse. I couldn't find it. So I thought, it is very nice message. I thought, let me just quote him. So he was, yes, so basically, yes, Lord in the Kali Yuga, Lord in Kali Yuga comes in four forms: Srimad Bhagavatam, Tulsi Seva, Ganga Snan, and Shuddha Vaishnava Seva. And then he further quotes that Vrindavan Das Thakur in Chaitanya Bhagavat says that the idols or idols of the deities, which are generally made of a grass or a wood or a stone, they become Archa Vigraha after Pran Pratishtha is done. But these four things, Bhagavatam, Tulsi, Ganga, and Vaishnava Seva, they don't require Pran Pratishtha. Why? Because the Lord stays in their heart. Krishna says in Srīmad Bhāgavatam 9.4.68, very famous verse, Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham manyate na jananti naham taibhyo managapi. Sadhavo hridavo mahyam, that the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. Sadhunam hridayam tvaham, I am in the heart of the pure devotee. Manyate na jananti, my devotees do not know anything else. Naham tebhyo managapi, and I do not know anything else but them. This verse was spoken by Lord himself to Durvasa Muni, and the context of this verse is that Durvasa Muni sent a demon behind Amrish Maharaj to kill him. And what was the offense of Amrish Maharaj? It was not an offense at all. Amrish Maharaj was about to break the fast of Ekadashi, and in order to break the fast, he had just drank a little bit of water. But Durvasa Muni was his guest, and according to the etiquette, the host should not eat without serving the guest. Durvasa Muni found this out by his mystic powers, and he took that as an offense, and he sent the demon. And in order to save the demon, he sent the demon behind Amrish Maharaj, and in order to save Amrish Maharaj, Krishna sent his Sudarshan Chakra to save Amrish Maharaj. And so now Krishna, so this verse is actually spoken by Krishna to Durvasa Muni, saying that devotees in my heart, and I'm in the heart of the devotees. Devotees don't know anything but me, and I don't know anything but them. And in the purport of this verse, Srila Prabhupada explains that because devotee always in the heart, the devotee is always situated in the heart of the devotee. They get instruction from the Lord himself. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham emanukam parthanam aham agnanam jam tamalha nashayami atmabhavastu gnanadipena bhasvata. That I within the heart of the devotee give them the knowledge. And so in verse 40 here also Krishna stated that in case of Nalakuvara and Manigriva, he knew everything. He knew the past life of Nalakuvara and Manigriva. He knew Narad Muni's kindness from the very beginning. And had Narad Muni not desired to purify Nalakuvara and Manigriva, Krishna would never have shown his mercy to these offenders. Krishna further says that Narada, by curse of Narad Muni, you have become a sober person. But because otherwise you were Madanda. Madanda is the term that is used in verse 40. You were Madanda, you were maddened by the opulence. But more than that, what he did, he brought closer. He brought you closer to my pastimes. He showed that devotional service is the real blessing. And as this verse goes, that seeing, as Prabhupada explains in the purport, that seeing such sadhu is a blessing, but greater than that is hearing from him, conversing with him is blessing. And even such chanting and hearing of glories of the Lord without this devotee, or in the absence of the devotee, is not as glorious as to converse with the devotees, as to hear and chant from the devotees. And why is that? Because devotion in the heart of the devotees is so much that what they see is Krishna everywhere. and what they desire is to spread Krishna's name everywhere. Because the devotee of Krishna has no material desires. Anyabhilashitashunyam gnanam karma anavritam. His only desires, devotee's only desire is to think of Krishna, think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and serve him as the best. And because of this transcendental qualification, the Lord is extremely favorable to his devotees, and not only to the devotees, but devotees of the devotees. As the verse goes, sorry, I lost my thought. Yes, not only the devotees, but devotees also, but the devotees of the devotees. Srila Narottam Das Thakur in his bhajan says, Chhadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Paye che Kripa, that without being a devotee of the devotee, one cannot be released from this material entanglement. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, Gopi Bhartu Padakamaral Dasa Dasanudasa, that he instructed us to become the servant of Krishna. So, devotee like Brahma, Narada, Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami are direct servants of Lord Krishna. But one who becomes the servant of these servants, they become dear to Krishna. And for us, apart from Narada, Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami, all Goswamis, Srila Prabhupada, our gurus, spiritual masters in the senior acharyas, seniors in our movement, we should be serving. We should be serving them. So then we become then Krishna become pleased with us. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, therefore, in his Gurvashtakam says that Yasya prasadat nagati kutopi, that one who sincerely serves spiritual master, Krishna certainly becomes favorable to such devotees. Following the instruction of a devotee is more valuable than following the instruction of the Krishnas directly. Sadhur bhir grasta hridayo bhakter bhakta jana priya. Sadhur bhir grasta hridayo. You know what is the meaning of grista? Grista means completely covered. I've heard this word grista in Gujarati and in Hindi in a negative connotation only. When it is used like when there was a COVID grasta. Grasta means someone is completely covered. Someone is completely afflicted. So Krishna's heart, this is Krishna again speaking to Durvasa Muni in Canto 9, that Sadhur Bhira Gristaradev, that my heart is completely covered by Bhaktir Bhakta Jana Priyaha. My heart is completely controlled by my devotees, and not only my devotees, but the devotees of my devotees. His Grace Viraj Vishnu Prabhu mentioned very nice point on Wednesday class that Nalakuvera and Manigriva both were materialist. They had full enjoying tendencies before getting cursed from Narad Muni. But after getting cursed, after seeing Krishna's pastime in Vraja in a tree form, when and at the time of the deliverance, when they become demigods again, what they ask for? They ask for Vraja Bhakti. They could not leave Krishna. No, they did not want to leave Krishna. Their legs were numb, their eyes were teary. So such is the transformation by the pure devotee of Krishna. And this is the emphasis of this verse. This is what Krishna glorifying, Krishna saying in this verse, that such transformation is made by the pure devotee of Krishna. Another pastime that we hear in Chaitanya Charitamrita is Amogha. Amogha, who was that? Amogha is the son-in-law of a Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was pure devotee or a great devotee of Sri Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was actually Mayavadi, but when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after meeting Mahaprabhu, hearing from his heart melted. So one day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for prasadam. And Amoga, who is the son of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was also there. He was Brahmana, born in a pious family, but he had one defect. The defect was always finding a fault. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming from prasadam, very nice, beautiful items were prepared for Mahaprabhu. And Amoga, because he was full of criticism, when Mahaprabhu came and sat down at prasadam, and when he was just about to take a prasadam, he made a comment that what kind of sannyasi is this Mahaprabhu? Sannyasi means to control the tongue. But look at the amount of food that he is eating. He's eating food like he's a king. And then he walked away. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya heard this, and he took the stick out and ran behind him. But Amoga ran somewhere and ran out of the house, so he could not catch him, and he missed him. After this incident, that Amoga came again. After this, Amoga came again, and he commented the same thing again. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, again with the stick in hand, trying to run behind him, and he ran and couldn't catch the Amoga. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very sad by the behavior of his son-in-law, and he actually fell at the feet of Mahaprabhu, seeking his forgiveness, that today I have offended you so much, and I deserve to be killed. And Mahaprabhu comment to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is just to let that go. Now, on the same evening, Mahaprabhu found out that Amogha was inflicted with cholera, and as soon as Mahaprabhu found that out, actually he went to see Amogha straight away. He was kept out because cholera was an infectious disease, so he was actually kept out of the room, kept out of the village in a small room. Mahaprabhu went there. Amoga said, no, please don't come to me. I am infected with the cholera. You might get the infection too. But Mahaprabhu actually put his hand on the chest of Amoga, and by doing this, what happens is that all his diseases was disappear, and he became ecstatic. He started singing and dancing, and at that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declares that everyone in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house is very dear to me, including his maids, his servants, even his dogs, and what to speak his relatives. So this reveals an extraordinary value that Lord places on those who are indirectly connected with his devotees. And such is the glory of the pure devotees. There are so many more pastimes, but time is of a constraint. So I would not go into more pastimes and story. But if we pause and think and reflect, Sakirai Prabhu in class yesterday mentioned that we are all like Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. We all, I can speak for myself, we have come to Australia to become materially prosper. And then we got intervened by devotees, and then our desires changed. Srila Prabhupada, in his old age, by his pure devotion and by dint of his practices, he would have gone back to home, back to Krishna easily. If he didn't need to come and, He didn't need to come to West and preach to us. But if he hadn't come to us, then what would have happened? You know, what he did, he gave the knowledge of right practices. He gave us the scripture. He gave us the temples where this knowledge can be practiced. He gave the gurus who can guide us. He empowered those gurus to go around and preach the words. He gave bhajans, he gave prayers, he gave bhagavatam, he gave prasadam, and even more than that, he gave devotees and friends and everything. So in English, there is a saying that you can take the cake, the baker, you can take the cake, the bakery, and the baker itself. So Srila Prabhupada has given us the cake, the bakery, and the baker itself. He has given us everything. Now this is glory of Srila Prabhupada. But now imagine the devotees that we are surrounded, our seniors that we are surrounded by, are not part of our lives. Would we have known Srila Prabhupada? Would we have known Srimad Bhagavatam? Would we have known Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Would we have known all these bhajans? I can speak for myself again. Answer is no. Most of us are grown up in India, and generally we are brought up, by not eating meat or not drinking alcohol. But if we think of practicing a spirituality, and even if one would have desired to practice a spirituality without the association of the devotees, without what Prabhupada has given, at the most, what I can think of we would be practicing is spirituality in rituals. Going to the temple, following to the fast, following fast is the devotional service, of the aspect of the devotional service that Prabhupada has given us, no one has given us. My Guru Maharaj says in one of his classes that mercy flows from higher, and which is so true. We are close to 7 o'clock, but I would want to share this quote, and if devotee permit, if we can finish the chapter today, so that when whoever is speaking tomorrow, they can start from the beginning, because there is not much left in this chapter. So first I want to share, what I want to share is Shyam Govinda Prabhu, son-in-law of his Sakirai Prabhu. He shared this some time ago on social media, and very nice, very apt. I could relate it, so I thought I'll share with everyone. Bringing someone to spiritual path is a significant life event. It requires them to shift not just their habit, but their heart, their whole worldview, and sometimes even their relationships. This journey is a very delicate one. If it is approached harshly, lacking sensitivity, we risk wounding very faith that we are trying to nurture. Rules and regulations without relationships eventually create doubt, which then leads to indifference. But genuine care with consistency from guides nourishes faith and builds confidence. Spiritual seekers aren't transformed by being pushed, enamored, or coerced by distant enigmas. Transformation occurs when one feels understood, guided, and encouraged. It takes presence, it takes gentleness, it takes deeply personal relationship with someone who genuinely cares, someone who had desired to see others flourish into a person they never believed they could become. So true. If we pause and if we think and if we reflect, all of us would at some point in our life were intervened by such devotees, which changed our perspective, which changed our desire, which changed the track of that we were thinking. We were living, or probably we were not thinking. We were just passing by. As Keshav Maharaj says, are you living or are you existing? Maybe we are just existing. So with this, I would conclude the discussion of today's verse. If would anyone has any comment or correction or suggestion, please feel free to share.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, thank you for a nice class. So many anecdotes you quoted from the scriptures about the mercy of Vaishnavas. I want to find out like this. Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see. And we are also told that Nama, Ruchi, Jivadaya, Vaishnava Seva, these are the three pillars of our spiritual life. So on a daily basis, how can we, because, spiritual life, spiritual practice is a daily practice. It is not just morning half an hour and then once a week at the temple. So if we want to do Vaishnava Seva or we want to do Jivadaya, so touch someone's hearts every day, like what should we be doing? I ask this question myself every day that, whose heart can I touch today? What service can I do today? Can I go out of my way to just, help someone in any possible way? So this way, if you have some tips on how to serve the Vaishnavas, that'll be, very wonderful. Thank you, Mataji.
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhu, asking this question. I feel myself utterly unqualified to answer this question because normally the situation is reverse. I am asking these questions to you, but what my understanding about the question that you ask, how can we practice this on a daily basis? And theoretical answer to that would be, is Prabhu, by praying. We pray, we put this desire in front of Krishna, and Krishna somehow manifests situations in our life where we can practice and go these things. I'm not sure how practical that would be, but this is my theoretical answer. Would you want to add or comment anything more, Prabhu?
No, Mataji, thank you. Yes, prayer is the beginning, of course. And by prayers, of course, then Krishna, he also shows his hands and, gives a service. So when we chant every morning, when we ask for service, and somehow service comes. But then I also pray for Krishna to give me intelligence that I can see that this service has come and I should do it. Otherwise, in our daily routine, normally when service comes, we have a tendency to, get busy with our own lives. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing that. What you have said is so true. We need to have a desire to ask for such thing. And it's like a catch-22. To have those desire also, we have to pray to Krishna. So I know we are over 7, but if everyone permits, we are very close to the conclusion of the chapter. Can we finish the last 2 verses, if that's okay?
That's fine, Mataji.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mataji. So verse 42. Prabhu, can you please have verse on the screen? Tadgachatam mataparmo nalakuvar-sadanam sanjato mayi bhavo vam vipsita paramo bhava. Synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Tadgachatam. Now both of you may return. Mat paramo, accepting me as the supreme destination of life. Nalakuvera, O Nalakuvera, and Manigriva. Sadhanam, to your home. Sanjataha, being saturated with. Mai, unto me. Bhavaha, devotional service. Vam, by you. Ipsitaha, which was desired. Paramaha, supreme highest, always engaged with all senses. Abhavaha, from which there is to fall down into material existence. Translation: O Nalakuvara and Manigriva, now you may both return home, since you desire to be always absorbed in my devotional service. your desire to develop love and affection for me will be fulfilled, and now you will never fall down from that platform. Purport: the highest perfection of life is to come to the platform of a devotional service and always engage in devotional activities. Understanding this, Nalakumara and Manigriva desire to attain that platform, and that Supreme Personality of Godhead bless them with the fulfillment of the transcendental desire. Just one small comment regarding this purport, that so after receiving the blessings from Narad Muni, Nalakumara and Manigriva returned to their abode Alkapuri, which is the capital of heavenly planet. And as we know, heavenly planet are full of opulences, and when one is surrounded with full of opulences, it is very hard to undertake a devotional service there, because then there are all sorts of sense enjoyment and sense pleasures are available. But because here, as Krishna says in this verse, that he is blessed by the Lord, because he is blessed by Krishna, and because Nalakumara and Manigriva were determined to do the devotional service, despite of such incongenial environment, they could perform devotional service. So the learning or the prayers that we can take from this is that let me remember you, Krishna, in every situation, even the situations where I'm comfortable in. Because in uncomfortable situation is congenial. It is easier to go to Krishna, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Artho Arthartho Jignasi. One who is in art, in a pain, it is easier to approach Krishna. But when we are in a comfortable situation and then we approach to Krishna, that shows the real strength, that shows the real devotion. And because they are blessed by Krishna, Nalkavira and Manigriva were blessed by Krishna himself, they could perform devotional service. So that is the discussion of this verse. Does anyone have any other comment or suggestion or correction regarding this verse? Okay, so we will go to verse 43. Shri Shuka Uvacha Iti Yoktya Tu Parikramya Pranamya Cha Puna Puna Buddho Lukhalam Amantrya Jagamatur Dishamuktaram. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shri Sukadeva Goswami said, Iti Ukto, having been ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this way. Tau, Nalakovera and Manigriva, Parikramya, circumambulating. Pranmaya, offering obeisances. Cha, also. Punaha Punaha, again and again. Baddha Ulukham Amantrya, taking the permission of the Supreme Lord, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was bound to the wooden mortar. Jagamatuhu departed. Disham Uttara, to their respective destinations. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sukadeva Goswami said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, having spoken to demigods in this way, they circumambulated the Lord, who was bound to a wooden mortar, and offered the obeisances unto him. After taking the permission of Lord Krishna, they returned to their respective homes. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 10th Canto, 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Deliverance of Yamala-arjuna trees. With this end, we conclude the Damodar Lila, we conclude this chapter. As Shakirai Prabhu was sharing yesterday, that this Lila is, there is so much rasa in this, but at the same time there is so much nectar, there are so many lessons that to learn from a devotee over the past 6 weeks have, just kept showering their mercy by sharing the wisdom, by sharing the rasa. So I was speaking for myself, feeling really grateful to be able to part of this Sangha, feeling grateful to be able to hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and all glories to all of you, all glories to the assembled Vaishnavis. Granthāraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If anyone has any comment or questions or correction, please feel free to share.
Hare Krishna, I would just like to say how much I appreciate this group also, and the Harekrishnatemple Burbank and all the Vaishnavas there. So thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for sharing your feelings with us. I remember Viraj Krishna Prabhu started Srimad Bhagavatam, I think nearly 2.5 years ago. And at that time, he started in Kartik only, and then with the period of time, of course, by his endeavor, asking everyone to come and join this group, and the nectar that we derive from this group is growing bigger and bigger with the mercy of the devotees, as we discussed today. So thank you so much for sharing that comment, Prabhu. It's very valuable. Thank you so much. Would anyone like to share anything else? Okay. Granthāraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Krishna willing, we all see you again tomorrow for our glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.